Welcome to another Farmtown Misadventures episode with Charlie Many Layers, JJ, and Lenny. In this episode, we'll be showing how to use the Farmers List tool to manage your neighbors and your buddies, including adding neighbors and buddies from your Facebook friends, converting neighbors to being buddies, and making buddies become neighbors, and a few problems we see along the way. Enjoy. We're here on one of Lenny's farms, and we're going to show you how to use the Farmers List. It's located up here. Same symbol we're used to with just the buddies, but now it is a Farmers List. Click on it and it comes up like that, and as you can see, it defaults to your buddies. It says my buddies. You have a total of 5 different tabs here, or functions. You have my neighbors, my buddies, Facebook friends, neighbor request, and buddy request. And to get them out of the way first, I'll go to the buddies list first. I click here, and you notice it tells me that I have 140 buddies currently, and that I'm using 25%. We have no entries here, but if someone was to send me a buddy request that was not a Facebook friend, then this would likely show up here. So far I've only had one buddy request come in there, and when it did, there was a 1 up here just above the tab, and also up by the icon that we click on to go into the Farmers List. That's for buddies only. Next is the neighbors list of requests. Again, as I haven't had any come in yet, I'll assume these are neighbor requests that are coming in from non-Facebook friends. Now, once we transition away from being associated with Facebook, this may be other people for both neighbors and that we find that we want to add as a neighbor or buddy that are in no other way associated with us. This will be defined a little bit better probably once the manuals are all finished. Next, we have the function for Facebook, my Facebook friends. Okay, this lists all of your Facebook friends who play Farmtown. And you'll notice it when I bring the mouse off the pad here that we have bluish ones, but when you put the mouse over it, it goes to a yellowish color. This one here is a yellowish color whether we're on it or not. Now, the difference you see here is this one here has a area where we can take and add that person as a buddy. This person is, because of the color of it, we're going to say that that is probably your already a neighbor of yours. This one here is neither a neighbor nor a buddy. So if we wanted to take and add that person as a buddy or neighbor, I would simply click on these things here. Well, okay, we see that it happens to be a buddy. And in the same aspect, this one happens to be a neighbor. Okay. Now, we get the next one down here. Now, you'll notice that both of them are lit up. And it's still yellow. But when you have the mouse off of it, it goes white. Here would be if we wanted to add them as a buddy. And here's one if we want to add them as a neighbor. This person is a level 936, and they were last on today. So, as I want to maximize the number that I have of anyone who is especially already a friend in Facebook, and under the Facebook version of Farmtown, are a friend, I want to add this person now as a buddy. So therefore, what I will do is I will just click on this, and it brings up, do I want to add that to my buddy list? I'll click yes. And you'll notice it does give their name to the buddy list. And I click, and now as I move my mouse on down, you notice it did stay yellow because this person is now a buddy. Same here. And as you can tell, they're kind of mixed in here. Well, there are also in these things filters by which we can sort the order of them. It's not a true filter, but it's a manner of orders, how we order them. As an example, we can have them as the last active, which is the default, or we can take them and have them as by their avatar name, such as this. Now you'll notice, as an example, here we have people who have an avatar name of one name and a different name for their username. Same here. Same here. However, this one here, this is their avatar name and their username, and so forth. And again, because it's however they are fit into here alphabetically according to the avatar, you have a mixture. The yellow ones are buddies, the bluish ones are neighbors, and if we have any clear ones down here, I don't know if we do. Oh, there's one right there. Well, no, this one here is a neighbor. Let's see if we have them down here. Okay, here's a white one. You can see. So we have all three of there. Another sort order is that you can set them as according to their name. Again, that's going to do the same thing. So alphabetically, they're up like that. This is by the name, not the avatar. Then we can go with whether they're online or not. And this would be useful if you was wanting to communicate with them. The ones that are online are going to show a green dot. The ones that do not have the green dot will not show it, such as these down here are not online at the present time. Next we have the levels, and they start at the highest level, 1350s, which is the current highest level, and go down to the lowest level. Next option for sorting order is whether they are a buddy or not. Now, when we say if they're a buddy or not, notice we went to the top again. The bodies are all going to be on the top, and then down here somewhere they're going to go over to where we have the neighbors, and once we get down here a little ways, well, not always consistent, but I think once they have used this a little bit, it'll start clearing up some, so that you can pretty reliably determine who's what. That will be something I'm sure that will be worked on. And then we have by neighbors. Again, they would be the ones on top. And ones that are neither a buddy or neither a neighbor or a buddy, which would be the ones that are non-committed yet as far as your assignments, whether they're going to be a buddy or a neighbor. And these are showing the list ones, and you'll notice that they are alphabetically at that point too. And I would suspect that they are in the other modes as well. And you can simply go through there. Now, what can you do with these? Okay, you have the option of add them as a neighbor, add them as a buddy. You can send them a message, or you can actually go visit their farm. And you just click on there, and you do go to their farm. However, when you return, you will not necessarily come back to this tab or this function of within. Next over is my buddies. And now, this time, you'll notice that the buddies are listed in white. Okay? And it tells you how many you have. I've currently got 140 there, using approximately 25%. And they are in alphabetic order according to their avatar, not by their name. Okay? And again, you have all of the same options for sort order. You can, whether they're in this order, it's avatar name, then regular name, then whether they're online or not, then what their level is, then last time they were active, and whether they might happen to be also a neighbor. So that if we come down here and click here, you'll notice we have three or four that are also neighbors. And you'll notice it has a little minus mark here, minus mark there, minus mark here. That would be where I want to remove them as a neighbor and leave them as a buddy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that one and remove them as a neighbor and leave them as a buddy. So I click on here. Okay, and this tells you you're going to remove this person that gives their name and from our neighbors list, and retain them as a buddy. You notice they're no longer on that group of list. Then we can go to the next tab, which is My Neighbors. Again, it's going to give you all those kinds of different choices. And we're going to go ahead, and the ones that are listed here are all neighbors. Again, sorted by name on the avatar, I believe, by the avatar name. We'll go back and look at the buddies and see if they're the same way. You'll notice that they have the emblem if we want to add them as a neighbor, because they're already buddies. If we want to remove them as a buddy, if we want to go to their farm, or we want to just send them a message. And again, it tells you when they were last on, etc. One thing related to adding neighbors and buddies is now, as of this newest update, when you're in your message, receive messages from your friends and neighbors and buddies, you can see that now we have down here an additional level here which allows us to send that person a neighbor request, or to send them a buddy request. Okay, this particular friend is already a buddy, so therefore we don't need to send them anything, but you can do this now this way, and that's a new improvement there. Gives you an additional way to add neighbors and buddies in the new system. In accounts that have large numbers of Facebook friends, and such as JJ's, when we go into the farmers list, we load up just as normal, as such. But when we get to the Facebook friends, you notice that it shows that we have 0 Facebook friends. This is an error that seems to be caused, or seems to appear on accounts that have more than 1,000 Facebook Farmtown friends. Don't know what exactly causes it. However, I have contacted the forum, and their response was that it's already been, developers have been notified of this, as there are moderators in the forum that have this same exact problem. So therefore, it is something that's known, and that will be corrected at some point. If you have fewer than that, then it would be normally working. But I'm suspecting that there will be lots of other folks like myself, like JJ, that has this problem. Another way that we can take and add neighbors and buddies is when we're doing post facilities for our friends and or neighbors and or buddies. Whether we're on the old Facebook or our, okay, we're back to our buddy list, and I'll show you something I found a little peculiar here. One of my newest additions, their name is Rose. And it found Rose, which is very good. However, as has been reported in the forum for the Farmtown forum, sometimes the dates on these come up really weird. As in, Rose says that the last time they were on was January the 1st, 1970. Two problems with that. They were recently online because that's how I added them. Secondly, that date is well before Farmtown was ever thought about, and definitely before it was released. So, that's obviously a bug. As reported in the forum, one of the ways to correct this is simply to take and clear memcache. Now, I use bookmarks, which allow me to do various functions in Farmtown. And one of these is do clear memcache, and that's right here. So I'm going to click this, even though this is, well, I'm not going to use, we're using that one, and it's taking us back into Facebook version because that is the one that is for Facebook, and I have the one that I'm assuming will be the new one, and the only difference between them at current that I've put into it is I changed the name from Facebook to /key in the address line, /key.com. Now, having done that, let's go back to our and of course we loaded up a different farm, which was the default farm, and that's fine. But now we're going to take and go back and check to see how Rose's information shows up. We go here to, she was a neighbor, and I'm going to type it in again, Rose. Now you'll see it shows her that she was on May the 26th of 2023, which is the correct date that she was on. There will be changes. We know that as time goes on that these will be updated somewhat, and some of the little glitches that we're running across will probably be fixed. But the updates from Raoul will let us know what they've done, and hopefully this will continue working very well. This has all worked under the new system. The Farmtown, the Facebook version of Farmtown works very similarly at this moment. However, that will change. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you, and have a great day.